Where are the hazard lights? Do I have hazards?
Are they right there, you red light?
Oh, yeah.
What's this? Hey, you hear about, did I tell you about that little boy that wanted to be a detective?
No.
I don't know if I know that one.
I thought I told you that down the shop that day.
I don't think so.
This little boy was in high school the last year for 4 years. Finally, they how what they did with me. They shoved me out. 4 years enough for anybody. No. Yeah, he come home, his mother says, well, how'd you make out? He says, well, I graduated, Ma. No kidding. No. He didn't realize, 4 years enough for anybody in one grade. He thought he was doing good, He was. So she says, well, if you planned on what you want to do now with your life, son, now you're out of school. Yes, Mom, he says, I've had a lot of time to think there. He says, with all them years, I've got a lot of education, I got to tell you a little something different just for a minute. You know what they call pine up in Vermont? Pine. Do you have any pine down there, Stanley? Okay, back to the story. So I gotta I'm telling you, Johnny, I gotta take time out and either that or get me another watch. You know that one, don't you? One watch, I ain't got time to do it all. But anyway, he says, well, look at there. Stanley. Boy, I'm a popular guy, ain't I?
Yeah.
Huh? You know what? There's something about that name. It just tingles everybody when they hear that. I shouldn't even tell you this, but I don't know why, but I got the assessor up there in Johnstown. He was almost crying when I was telling him how bad I got the other day, and he says, I'll tell you what, how much money do you, I'm serious now. He says, how much money do you need, Stanley? Because bills are coming in like you wouldn't believe, and not dollar bills either. I says, I'm so poor I can't even pay attention anymore. You think I ought to go into comedian
Yes.
thing? Huh?
Yes.
We've been saying this for 4 years now. Okay, so he says, well, Mom, I'll tell you, I want to be a detective. That really interests me, And he says, fact is, I think I'm going down to see the sheriff right now and sign on, see if he'll hire me. He goes down, the sheriff says, oh, this kid, everybody in town knew about him. And he says, oh, boy, we're in for trouble now. He comes in, hi, Johnny. Why'd I pick that name? I don't know. He says, what can I do for you? He says, well, I graduated, Sheriff. Really? Well, everybody in town has been wondering about it. When you're going to get? He says, what can I do for you? He says, I want to be a detective. You do, huh? That look. You should see the girls over the coffee shop when I go in there. They say, what do you want? And I look up. I got them all going crazy over there. They say, is that for here or is that to take with you? I said, it's for here. Ain't I? Hey, I are something, ain't I?
Yeah.
But anyway, he says, you want to be detective, huh? He says, I'll tell you what, that's quite a job. He says, you got a bunch of papers like that. He said, I'm going to give you a simple little test, a couple of them, to see what you think. No use making out all that paperwork. He says, he'll never pass this. No, you know, but I got to be good to him, right? So he says, Johnny, how much is 1 and 1? Oh, he says, boy, that's simple. He said, that's 2. Geez, he says, that's pretty good. He says, got another one for you. He says, what 2 days of the week begin with T? He thought a minute. He said, today and tomorrow. Today and tomorrow. Oh, boy, he said, you're doing all right. And he thought, this kid is something else. He ain't going to make it, but I can't misuse him, you know. He said, I'll tell you what I'm going to do with you. He said, you go out and now nobody's ever done this that I know of. He says, you go out and you find out who shot President Kennedy and then come back and tell me. And he says, I'll put you right on. Nobody's ever been able to find out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who did it or what? I mean, why? So he says, okay, thanks an awful lot for your time. He says, I'll get right on the job right now. He goes home. His mother says, well, how'd you make out? He says, he didn't put me on steady yet, but he made me a promise. She says, what? He says, he told me, asked me 2 things and I answered them right. And the third one, he says, you go. That reminds me of another one now. Oh, this is a good one, this next one. Wait till you hear this next one. He says, you go out and find out who shot President Kennedy and we'll put you right on. And she says, geez, how are you going to do that? Nobody's ever found out. He says, geez, that's unbelievable. He couldn't figure it out why he told him that, right? But this guy had a nagging wife. That one's over with. No laughs. I wait for her to laugh and there's no laugh. So this guy had a nagging wife. He said, geez, boy, oh boy, that's all that woman does. It don't matter what I do. All she does is complain and nag at me. Oh, I can't stand this no more. So, all of a sudden, he up and dies, right? So he goes up to heaven. Saint. Yeah. Wait till you hear this one, boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yeah. St. Peter says, hi, John. He says, what's going on? He says, I don't know. He says, down there I was doing something, one thing, and the next thing I'm here. He says, hey, I got to go to the price chopper and get some groceries for these people. He says, would you mind watching the gate? No, he said, I'll watch it. He said, then I'll take care of you when I get back. So he's watching the gate. He's looking up and down the highway. The highway to heaven, that's what it is, ain't it? Wasn't there a movie like that? Highway to heaven? He's looking up and down. All of a sudden, way down, like where that red light is on that car, he sees little puffs of dust. And it kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And all of a sudden he says, no. 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 It was his wife. Oh my God, 40, 50 years down there, now here she is up here. Oh, what am I going to say to her? She gets up. Hi, hon. What are you doing here by the gate? He says, St. Peter had to go get some groceries for the inmates. He says, says he asked me to watch the gate. She says, what have you got to do to get in there? He thought a minute. He says, 40 years. And now she's here. What do you have to do to get in? He says, spell Czechoslovakia. her couldn't spell. Johnny, I gotta get going really, because I only got one watch and I got a lot to do today. In fact, I ain't even got that one on now.
You have no time.
I'm just running on, what do they call that when there's no power to work it? What do you call that word? There's a word for it. You know that? You ever hear of it? Perpetual motion.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm running on right now. Perpetual motion. I'll see you later. Johnny, one of these days we're going to get together.
Yes.
I don't know when.
Yeah, we will. All right, buddy. See ya.
Yeah. Okay.